Since 1992, Premier League has witnessed some amazing players with jaw-dropping talents, and this video is just about it. Curious to know about the top 20 best midfielders in English Premier League? If yes, then you have just landed on the right video. Since the Premier League kicked off in 1992, it's seen its fair share of footballing geniuses. But you know what? Some of them stand out big time. These players are like magic on the field. They do things that make you scratch your head in amazement. They can slice through defenses with pinpoint passes, launch rockets from long distance, and even pull off those fancy flicks and chips that always seem to find a buddy in the crowd. Some of them are like conductors, setting the tempo of the game. Others are like snipers, delivering that killer pass right when it's needed most. And you've got a few who can do both. These guys are real deal. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Make sure to sit back and stick with us till the end of the video so that you don't miss anything. Now without any further ado, let's dive straight into the video. 20. Juan Mata. Let's talk about Juan Mata, shall we? He's a bit unique in this group because he primarily plays as an attacking midfielder. What does that mean? Well, it means you're more likely to catch him in the act of beautifully threading through those killer passes or whipping in some delightful crosses. And let me tell you, he's absolutely top-notch at both of those. But here's the thing. Like any top player, Mata can also pull off those long-range passes that make your jaw drop. It's just that we don't get to see that side of his game quite as often. So when he does, it's like a hidden gem in a treasure chest of skills. Juan Mata, the midfield magician. 19. Santi Cazorla. Santi Cazorla, the guy who's got this amazing superpower in his soccer arsenal. He can pass the ball with equal precision using both feet. Now that's something you don't see every day, right? Even though he's one of the newer faces in the Premier League, he's definitely not lacking in skills. Being two-footed means he can give his opponents a real headache with his passing. He can switch the game with a long, majestic pass or serve up a delightful flick or a perfectly timed through ball for his teammates. It's like having a secret weapon in his soccer boots. Santi Cazorla, making the beautiful game even more beautiful.
18. Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva's tenure at Manchester City has been nothing short of extraordinary. Since joining in 2017, he has become a linchpin in City's midfield, showcasing exceptional technical skills, vision, and versatility. Silva's contributions have been instrumental in the club's domestic dominance, with multiple Premier League titles and domestic cup triumphs. His creativity, work rate, and ability to unlock defenses have made him a fan favorite, solidifying his status as one of City's most influential players.
17. John Barnes. Famous for his dazzling dribbles and his knack for finding the back of the net during his time in the league, Barnes had more up his sleeve than just goals and speed. And here's the really cool part. When he started losing a bit of that lightning pace, he didn't fade away. Nope, he shifted to a deeper role on the field, where he could put his incredible vision and accuracy to good use. It's one of those underrated qualities that made him even more of a legend. John Barnes, the soccer sorcerer. 16. Jamie Redknapp. The guy who was like a passing wizard during his time at Liverpool and Tottenham, that's Jamie Redknapp for you. I mean, seriously, he could pick out his teammates with pinpoint accuracy. He was the man behind those killer passes that set up goals for legends like Robbie Fowler and Stan Collymore. Redknapp was like the maestro of the midfield, pulling the strings for Liverpool. Plus, when it came to set pieces, he was pretty darn good at those too. Jamie Redknapp, the midfield maestro. 15. James Milner. With over 566 appearances, 55 goals, 85 assists, and 3 EPL titles, this guy is a true football legend. You know what makes James Milner a standout player? It's his ability to adapt and shine in different roles on the field. When he was just 16 years and 356 days old, he smashed the Premier League record for the youngest goal scorer, leaving Wayne Rooney in the dust. Then he bagged the PFA Young Player of the Year award, and that paved the way for his move to Manchester City, where he played a crucial role in securing 2 Premier League titles. But he didn't stop there. Milner later joined Liverpool, and together they clinched another league title. Now, if you look at the stats, he's got a whopping 566 Premier League appearances under his belt. That's a ton of games. And in those games, he's notched 55 goals and set up 85 more for his teammates. 14. Michael Essien. You know, Michael Essien was a key player during Chelsea's early Premier League domination. He was like one of the absolute best of his generation, and why would he not be after all? He has 2 EPL titles, 17 goals, and 10 assists to his name. But what really made him stand out was his incredible ability to do everything on the field. I mean, this guy could make those perfect passes, charge up and down the field like a boss, or even step up as a solid defender when needed. The best part? He was up for playing almost any position except for being the goalkeeper, of course. During his time at Chelsea, he helped them grab 2 Premier League titles, and he did it all in 168 memorable appearances. 13. N'Golo Kanté. Now let's talk about N'Golo Kanté, the man who recently led Chelsea to that epic Champions League win. Here's the cool thing about him. He's the only player in Premier League history to bag 2 back-to-back titles with different teams. Not only that, with over 197 appearances, he bragged 2 EPL titles, 11 goals and 12 assists. His first magic moment was with Leicester City, and then, without skipping a beat, he moved to Chelsea and grabbed another title the very next season. Oh, and did I mention he's a World Cup winner? Yep, he's already up there among the greatest defensive midfielders ever, and guess what? He's still rocking the Premier League. 12. Michael Carrick. With 5 EPL titles, 481 appearances, 24 goals and 32 assists, let's give a shout-out to the unsung hero of Manchester United, Michael Carrick. He was the guy who often didn't get the spotlight but was crucial in the midfield. And boy, did he achieve some incredible things with Manchester United. He pocketed a whopping 5 Premier League titles. That's no small feat. Over his career, he played in 481 matches, not just for Manchester United, but also for West Ham and Tottenham. Carrick may not have always grabbed the headlines, but he sure left a mark in football history. 11. Kevin De Bruyne. Alright, let's talk about Kevin De Bruyne, the guy who's arguably the best passer the Premier League has ever witnessed. In his 182 appearances, Bruyne bragged 3 EPL titles, 42 goals and 78 assists. He used to play for Chelsea, but these days he's rocking it at Manchester City. Now here's the jaw-dropping part. De Bruyne is the first player in Premier League history to dish out 15 or more assists in 3 different seasons. I mean, that's just insane, right? He's not just the top playmaker in the league, he's one of the most versatile midfielders on the planet. What's his secret sauce? Well, it's his incredible ability to find his teammates with mind-blowing deliveries into the penalty area. And guess what? He's already got 3 Premier League titles in his trophy cabinet, and who knows how many more are on the way. 10. Claude Makélélé. With his 2 EPL titles, 144 appearances, 2 goals and 3 assists. Let's take a trip down memory lane to Chelsea's glory days in 2004-05, and at the heart of their success was none other than Claude Makélélé. This guy was a defensive powerhouse, and his contributions were a big reason why Chelsea conceded a record-low 15 goals that season in the Premier League. But here's the thing. Makélélé was more than just a ball-winning midfielder. He was like a deep-lying playmaker in disguise. He was so good at what he did that they actually named a position after him, calling it the Makélélé role. Like the video so far? Then make sure to give this video a big thumbs up as a little action from you can help our channel grow tremendously. Now let's get back to the video. 9. Yaya Touré. In his 230 appearances, Touré managed to get 3 EPL titles to his name, along with 59 goals and 35 assists. Now let's talk about Yaya Touré, a true legend in the recent history of Manchester City. This guy was like a one-man show, with skills that could blow your mind. When he was at his best, he was basically unstoppable. Touré didn't just hang out in the midfield, he owned it. He was like a protective shield for the defense, and he could dance through opponents with the ball like it was nobody's business. Initially known as a holding midfielder, he evolved into one of the most versatile and complete midfielders the Premier League has ever seen. 8. Cesc Fabregas. Let's talk about this Spanish sensation who lit up both Arsenal and Chelsea. But it's safe to say his glory days truly shone in the blue half of London. We're talking about none other than Cesc Fabregas, possibly the greatest playmaker the Premier League has ever seen. This guy burst onto the scene when he was just a young gun and never looked back. With 2 EPL titles to his name, Fabregas 350 appearances along with 50 goals and 111 assists. Now, here's the cool part. After leaving Arsenal for Barcelona, he made a blockbuster return to the Premier League with Chelsea. And guess what? In his very first season back, he helped Chelsea grab the Premier League title with a jaw-dropping 19 assists. 7. Roy Keane. 7 EPL titles, 39 goals, 366 appearances, and 32 assists. Sounds like Roy Keane to me. Let's dive into the legend of Roy Keane, the Premier League's ultimate captain. Sure, he won everything you could dream of with Manchester United, but his football journey really began at Nottingham Forest. It was there that he learned the true craftsmanship and artistry of the game. People usually think of Keane as a classic holding midfielder, someone who didn't make too many flashy runs forward. Not only could he carry the ball up the field, but he could also shut down the opposition's attacks and run tirelessly all over the pitch. Roy Keane was a puzzle all his own, a true enigmatic figure in the world of football. 6. David Silva. Let's talk about the guy who's got a statue of himself outside Manchester City's stadium. That's when you know you're a legend. We're talking about David Silva, the Spanish wizard who played a massive role in turning City's dream of winning their first ever Premier League title into a reality. During that historic season, Silva was on fire, scoring 8 goals and dishing out 19 assists in 49 matches across all competitions. And guess what? City snatched the title from their rivals, Manchester United, in a heart-pounding fashion. Moreover, he's got this incredible soccer IQ. He knows just where to position himself on the field, slipping between the lines and making things happen while dodging the opposition's pressure. David Silva, folks, is the real deal. 5. Patrick Vieira. With 31 goals, and 3 EPL titles to his name, let's dive into the legend of Patrick Vieira, shall we? This guy was like the secret weapon in that epic Invincibles Arsenal squad that didn't lose a single game to win the Premier League. Now, people often saw him as a cautious midfielder, but in reality, he was a midfield dynamo. While some might say he was just a defensive midfielder, he was way more than that. But here's the kicker. He wasn't just a stopper. He could also help his team build up their attacks, make daring runs into the opponent's territory, and even score from a distance. Vieira played a central role in 3 Premier League winning teams and even grabbed a Player of the Year award. 4. Ryan Giggs. Now let's talk about Ryan Giggs, the guy who's got a record-breaking collection of 13 Premier League titles, more than anyone else on this list. I mean, only 2 clubs in English football history have won more league titles than Giggs himself. That's just plain insane. He kick-started his career as part of Manchester United's iconic class of '92, and guess what? He stayed with them for his entire journey. Moreover, Giggs also holds the Premier League record for the most assists with a whopping 162. That's a whole lot of goals he helped set up. 3. Frank Lampard. Let's dive into the story of Frank Lampard, the guy who made a splash at West Ham, then became a Chelsea legend, and later had a stint at Manchester City. Now, what sets Lampard apart? Lampard had this incredible knack for striking the ball. Whether it was from a free kick or during open play, he was like a scoring machine. When you look at the numbers, Lampard's got a serious edge over the others on this list. He's one of just 3 players in the league's history to notch over 100 goals and over 100 assists. Plus, he's a 3-time Premier League champ, and even bagged a Player of the Year award for his sensational 2004-05 season. 2. Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard, the guy who grabs the second spot on our list. What makes this even more fascinating is that he's the only player in this elite group who never won a Premier League title, but he did bag 120 goals and 92 assists. That just shows you how incredibly talented he was. Now, when we talk about Liverpool in the Premier League era, Gerrard is the name that instantly comes to mind. He could sprint all over the pitch, make those crucial tackles, unleash thunderous shots, go on daring runs, win headers, and lead by example. But what really made Gerrard special were those jaw-dropping long-range strikes, often happening at the most crucial moments. The only thing that eluded him was that Premier League title. In the 2013-14 season, he came super close, but his infamous slip against Chelsea cost him the trophy. 1. Paul Scholes. A name that echoes as possibly the greatest midfielder in Premier League history. That's Paul Scholes for you. This English maestro was the beating heart of Manchester United during their golden years. What couldn't he do? Now, here's the jaw-dropping part. Scholes clinched a mind-boggling 11 Premier League titles during his time with Man United. His passes were like pieces of art that could tear defenses apart in seconds. In the 2011-12 season, he made a dramatic comeback from retirement to help out the injury-hit Red Devils. At 36, he signed a short-term deal and stayed for another year, playing a pivotal role as United claimed the 2013 title, pulling the strings in midfield for one last hurrah. Across 499 Premier League appearances, Scholes bagged an impressive 107 goals and set up another 55. With an astonishing 11 league titles to his name, Paul Scholes is not just a Premier League legend. He's one of the greatest players of his generation. Well, which player do you personally like the most? Let us know in the comments. With that being said, it's time for us to say goodbye, but don't be sad, as we will be back with another amazing video soon. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell icon button so that you don't miss any update from my channel. See you all soon. Thanks for watching.